How to use Jira for project management. Full beginner tutorial.
Jira is a powerful tool designed for teams to plan, track, and manage their work with agility and precision. Its UI and different features that you are seeing here are all built to help teams be able to work together as efficiently as possible. A lot of teams, project management teams, uses Jira, especially in their big projects or even minor projects or micro projects. When you're a software developer, a project manager, or a creative designer, Jira adapts to your workflow, helping you organize tasks, prioritize issues, and collaboration effortlessly with your team. So, from bug tracking to sprint planning, the possibilities or the things that you could do with Jira are endless. So that is what we will be focusing on today's video. We will be having a long video talking about all the different features, how to use Jira, and of course, the most important parts are situationals or like in a situation where you could do this, you could do that. I will be talking about that as well. So, as a beginner, you might find Jira overwhelming because of all the things that you're seeing on your screen. Now, if you give it some time, if you look through the different parts, such as the menu over here on the left side, their navigation at the top, maybe you could explore even the settings, you will be able to easily grasp and identify the flow of the website on where you should do this, where you should do that, and how you could easily navigate it. So let's first talk about the different parts or the different features of Jira, and let's explain to you how to navigate the certain parts. Now, currently, I'm in one of my projects, as you saw here earlier. You can create multiple projects, as you can see, and right now I made one new project, which is what we're seeing here for the sake of our demonstration. You will be able to view the entire list of your project if you have multiple projects in their homepage, and this is what it would look like when you visit or open a specific one. Now let's start with a basic. In Jira, of course, it's a team building or a team, not a team building, but a team management, project management, which of course involves people. How do you get people inside of your project? So the people in relation to your project are those people that will help you accomplish different tasks. It's called a project management because you're managing tasks and of course managing your members. And to be able to add or invite people, you could already see a few sections over here on our page, mainly this one over here on the left side. Under over here on the bottom left, you will be able to see that we have options for inviting people. And over here at the center, we have the option to add people. Clicking on those buttons will allow you to simply enter their email or groups. It's very easy to be able to invite people into our Jira project. So let's say video making 17 at gmail.com. Simply enter their email or their company email, doesn't really matter. I think it depends on their email or how your project structure is. But let's say, let's invite it again. Video making 17 at gmail.com. Select. Then you can invite multiple people at once to save time, of course, because typically in a project, there would be up to 10 to 15 or even more in some cases. And you don't really want to click invite every now and then or every time you're inviting. So you could add more people in one go. Just simply enter their emails in this box over here. And then as you can see, click on add one person and that person will be invited under our, as you can see, Jira group. We have successfully invited. We have sent an email to this email account. And as you can see, your teammates can now invite other people without your approval. But this is something you could subject to change or you could change. So Let's see if we will be able to view over here our email. Let's view what it would look like when people receives the email that we're trying to invite them. So let's go back to the homepage over here. Let me see if where we will be receiving it. So let me refresh. This is the video making. So we have invited it over here through Jira. So let's see if we will be able to see it through our inbox over here. Let's see. All mail. I guess it's not sending yet. Let's check out Jira over here. We could check out, still not here, but let's visit it again later on. Oh, there we go. As you can see, from Atlassian. Let me zoom in over here. From Atlassian, admin invited you to join them in Jira, as you can see. So simply click on accept, and that specific member will be able to be invited into your project. Right now, this account that I have made does not have an account yet. So if that user or that email that you invited does not have an Atlassian or a Jira account, it will prompt them to sign up. So over here, let's give it a video person as our username. So let's give it a password. Very simple password for now. Click on continue. And we should be able to finish setting this up account. We could save this for later. Then over here, we could select which or what kind of work we would be doing. Click on continue. You could see that Jira is for multiple types of projects. So it's not just for project management or software development. They could use Jira for a multitude of ways. And there we go. We now have our new member over here in our project. So we could see here that we have a video person and unassigned. This is me. Unassigned is me. Also, let me refresh this. And we should be able to view or see that the new person has been added or going to be visible under our person over here. As you can see, we have this person, which is video making under here. So it's V. So it indicates that that is us. So that is how you will be able to invite people into your projects. Very simple, very quick. Now you can start with collaboration or creating things in your project. Now let's explore a bit more over here on the left side. Like we talked about earlier, Jira is all about project management. So meaning there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of features that you need to have to be able to manage those type of things properly. And over here in Jira, they have timeline, boards, lists, and goals. All of this helps with creating or accomplishing different tasks. In the timeline, this is where you will be able to see what tasks are due in months, weeks, days, or even quarters. So you could have different point of views, different views to see what are the different tasks that are going to be available or going to be need to be done. And there are some legends over here that will allow us to be better identify our timeline over here. Later, we're going to go back to this after we add some few tasks, few sprints. After we do all of those other tutorials, we will be able to check this out later on and view what are the changes. So right here, these are the different legends for the timeline. So the legends are basically symbols that indicate what those mean. So we have sprints. This is what the sprint would look like. We have dependencies, inferred values, no end date, no start date for projects, released, unreleased, and overdue projects. So you could easily identify or see the status of those specific activities or specific tasks. You could create epics in this section, like what needs to be done and stuff like that. And the great thing about this is that you could also export it as a PNG or a spreadsheet if you want to share it to other people or to share it outside your team without inviting them inside of your project. So which is a really important thing. Let's say you want to show your progress to your client. You could do this. You could export the timeline on how you guys or what you guys are doing. If you have an office, like a real life office, and you want to print out your timeline for you guys to visually see physically in the office, you could also export it as an image and print it out. So over here, we have boards. This is where you will be creating your different tasks. So you have different types of boards here. You have your to-do, in progress, and done over here. As simple as it sounds, you will be able to create issues or tasks and have it put in the to-do. And of course, put it in progress if it's currently in progress. And of course, done over here. It looks simple, but there's a lot of things that you will be able to do. There's a lot of freedoms that you will be able to manage and perform with our board over here or the can board. Right now it's named as can board. I think you can rename this later on. There's a bunch of filterings over here that you will be able to use, which we will be using later on in the video. We also have list over here. It's just another better way for you to be able to view your different tasks, different activities. You can also see that uh, our person over here or our other account over here is actively inside or viewing the boards. As you can see here, you will be able to see that this person is active. And over here on the list view, this will just give you an insight on how the project or the specific task is, because you will be able to see types, keys, summary, stuff like that. And you can even add more things that into the columns over here for more information, for more management of tasks over here, like comments, resolution, and status category. There's also such things as cards over here. So if you want to list down the status, how many tasks are done, how many tasks are in progress, how many tasks are was not being able to accomplish, you will have charts that would help you understand or present that for a meeting, for a scrum meeting, either together with your team, your project management team, or your clients, or even your boss higher than you. And then over here, we have our goals as well, where you could put in your goals. Really, very similarly with boards over here, but for you to have goals, or for us to be able to view the goals section over here, as you can see, you will be able to attach or create goals for different members. As you can see here, let's read a bit of the description over here. So to create a goal once and use it everywhere, so linking goals in Jira automatically syncs them with duplications or inconsistencies. So let's say the goals are very similar, or there are multiple applicable or goals that you could put in on other types of tasks. So this is something you could use anywhere. And over here, goals give your teams a single place to track objectives, helping each other connect the dots. And this basically, or this feature, allows users to better able to collaborate with each other, even if it's remote, even if it's through the internet, through the network. They will be able to view the different features much easily, as you can see here. They will be able to help connect each dots, because of course, in a situation where one person is working on something and another person is working on something, there will be some times that there will be some conflicts. There will be some overlapping tasks or overlapping activities or outputs performed. Similarly with Git, or when you're pushing something in Git and there's a merging issue because of conflicts, having goal will allow them to be able to collaborate much better and have better management or better allocation of tasks, and informing each other basically on what has been done. But goal over here is not an available feature for us. So assuming we are, or the target audience for our beginners for this video are for those people who are using the free version, just like myself. I'm currently using the free version. So we will just stick with our typical options over here, like the timeline, go abort, and list over here. But this is a really great feature so that you could show other people's your framework, your progress, and stuff like that, which is really great. We also have sectors for development over here, where you could connect your project into GitHub or even other platforms out there. GitHub is something we all use as a programmer, as a software developer. GitHub is something that we must have. And over here, you are also able to connect to Bitbucket, GitHub, and GitLab for your codes. So if you have, since you're making projects, of course, project management, software related, you would have your codes, and where should you, or where better way should be you be able to manage it is under the code over here. You will be able to have visibility into your team's work, as you can see here, and you will be able to switch over between GitHub, GitLab, and all of those other management tools. You could also connect to other providers, as you can see here. There's a lot of things that you will be able to do, and advantage that you will be able to have here, like collaborations, which is something very important, especially if you're remote collaborations with codes is very important. You could copy and paste issue keys, stuff like that over here. And there's some automations that we will be able to check out later on if there is more time. Over here, we have project pages. You will be able to have some pages that your team will be able to check out. So you can have some meeting notes. You have a dedicated page. Let's say a Google Docs. So let's say Docs over here, like a dedicated page for meeting notes or like product requirements. These are all very important or key points in a project management because in meeting notes, let's say you have a meeting, and of course, taking notes of a meeting so that will know the output or you will be able to remember what you guys talked about. Having meeting notes is very important. So let's say you talked about a specific feature, how you guys want to implement it, how you guys want to approach a specific issue. It is very important for you to be able to take notes, share agendas, stuff like that, and that will be done through templates such as meeting notes. You could also use it for project requirements. As you can see here, project requirements, one of the most important documents that you must have, especially when building features, building applications. So you also have a retrospective over here, what could have gone better. So maybe this one is for allowing your team to learn, to grow more on how you could have better approach a specific issue, how you could have better created a specific feature, something like that. Then you have your decisions, blank page, or other stuff like that. Let's explore the templates later on in the video and see what other templates that we could have. So aside from that, those are the things that are specifically focused or the basic features right now in our project list over here. Earlier, you saw me seeing this page over here. This is where you will be able to create pages. We have some filters over here. This is for managing or seeing information from your or for your project. So if you have a lot of information, you could use filters. We also have some dashboards over here that we could create. If you create some dashboards over here, you will be able to create some names, stuff like that. So let's say dashboard sample. This is a sample for now. Click on save. And then you will be able to put all kinds of things over here in this specific dashboard. You could see some gadgets over here on the left side. So if you want to see activity stream, like list recent activities, stuff like that, you will be able to have a custom dashboard where you will be able to monitor all kinds of information, as you can see here on the left side. We also have things in relation to our team, as you can see here, which we talked about earlier. So if you want to create teams over here, so you have people in your projects, you could create a team as well. So if you have a team, let's say this specific people are for UI development, could be able to assign specific people for under this team. So you could click on create team, and now you could distinguish people. So of course, in a project, you will have multiple people. Some are good at coding the back end. Some are good at coding the front end. So you could create a team that separates the two or distinguishes the two to allow for better collaboration on who uh, or which people will handle specific type of tasks. We also have some plans over here if you want to check out the pricing range for Jira. That's something you can check out as well. But anyway, let's start now. Let's go back to the start and let's open our project over here. So let's start with the board. Like I explained to you earlier, this is where the things would be typically begin. This is where you will be able to do things or start things. So let's click on create an issue and what needs to be done. So let's analyze what are the first things that you would typically do when you're creating a project or when you have a project, especially for software development or other type of development. The term project management can be vague. It can be used for different types of projects, of course. This is not just for coding or anything tech related. You can also do project management for other type of topics as well. And you might want to use Jira because it has a lot of features and creativity or other ability to manage your projects. So I'm going to be a bit vague with the description. Like it's not just going to be technicality or tech related. So I'm going to be general with my terms. So let's say project analysis or project, just say project requirement analysis. Analysis, yes. Click on create. And now we have a project management analysis issue over here. We could click on the specific thing where you will be able to modify it. We could also click it to expound it so that we could put in more information about this specific task. So we could attach some files. We could add some descriptions over here. Let's say client wants a specific approach. You could put some stuff here, depending on what type of description you want to put. You could put or attach some files. Like I said, you could link some web pages, some link issues, stuff like that. You could assign it to people. Currently, it's unassigned, so we could assign it to each person, as you can see here. You could put some labels if you prefer. You could put a parent or specify a specific team as well. Earlier, we created UI development, so we could assign the specific task to our UI development. And other things is we could add some comments over here. People could talk about or have some comments in this section, people collaborating with each other. You could also see the history over here on what happens on this specific item. And then you could add some actions over here on what are going to be done. Others, or this specific thing is under or for automation, as you can see here. So let's give it a quick description. Let's save this. Then exit it. And now people will be able to see this under their to do. So if I refresh this, as you can see, it should appear now under video making's task over here. Now this thing is assigned to them, and they could see here under your work the different tasks that are assigned to that specific person, as you can see here under the to do. And we could view this and of course work with the specific task over here. Of course, you're not going to do the actual work inside of Jira. Jira is just something that allows you to monitor or like identify, this is the task that I have to do or that I have to focus on for today or for the rest of the week. You might notice that there was an option earlier to add an epic over here. So over here, we could click on create an epic. And then this is currently the issue type over here, epic. And then you could put in a summary of this specific thing. So let's say analyze the user requirements. Then you could put in your typical descriptions over here. Let me fix my spelling. You could put your typical description. You could assign it to people, the team. You could select a due date. So let's say the due date for this is 19. Issue color is purple. You could attach something, link issue, as you can see here. You could have some issues, restriction. You could have that as well. Then click on create. So we could add epic here. There we go. Let's exit this. And if you check out our timeline, we will be able to see here our specific task over here. We could select this and stuff like that. We could add a child issue or like a subtask to it if you want. So let's say create a summary report, stuff like that. You could have certain types of task or certain types of subtask under each main task over here that would allow you to analyze things. And then you could also play around with like the schedules over here if you want. So let's say for this one, the due date will be for this specific time range. So we have the main thing, which is this one. You could make it bigger. And then for specific smaller task over here, we could make it like the due date for this one is this. The due date for this one is this time range, stuff like that. Then we could create another a sub one if you want. Then you could also create a main one as well, or another epic over here under the sub ones over here. This is a really great way or great option or feature to illustrate what we're seeing, how we could see things, as you can see here. You could also view it under weeks, as you can see. So what I did for the main task or the entire duration of task is until November 23. And it started on the October or the first day of October. Then for this one spans for 6 days. And similarly, the other one for 6 days. Going back to our board, as you can see, it's going to be placed under the task as well. Although it's going to be under one main epic or one main task, it's still going to be listed down over here. And let's say someone or you yourself finished something, we could go here. Let's wait for it to load, or should we refresh it? I guess I'll refresh it. Oh, there we go. Let's say I have accomplished a task. I have finished making a summary report. I could open this. I could comment something like finished or accomplished it. And then you could attach the file over here. You could simply upload the file that you want, of course, or that you want to add. And then you can just simply exit this, and then you can simply drag and drop it under in progress, or this one is under in progress, by the way. If you're doing this, you should transfer it to let your people or to let people know that you're currently doing it. You're currently making some changes. You're currently making an effort on how you are or people just to inform people that you're currently working on that specific task. And then if you're done, of course, simply drag and drop it under done, and it will automatically say or identify that you have finished on that specific task. As you can see here, you will be able to see it is labeled as done, while the first one is still labeled as to do, as you can see here. Although you could see here that there will be like a green bar indicating that half of it or one out of two has been accomplished and done. You can also check out specific categories over here, status categories, on what you want to view on your Jira. So let's say you only want to view in your timeline status that has a done mark. So we can do that. And as you can see, it updated and it only showed us the done over here. So we click on to do, it will show that. But if you don't select anything, it will generally show everything that we have over here. You could also specify what specific epic you want to view. So we could have this one, which is what we have already. So we only have one. So over here, we have a quarter view as well. And this one has a date. So we have issue bar and we have a date over here. So we can also view settings over here. If you want to modify how you want to view things, such as the details, as you can see here, visual details. We have dependencies, progress, warning, stuff like that, completed, stuff like that. Then you could also share this. Actually, I forgot to say earlier, you could share it to a specific person, to a specific name, to a specific team if you want. That's something you could share as well. We could view the same information over here as a member, as you can see. So going back to our board, we have more things to see over here in the board. Typically in a project management, there would be a lot of to-do list over here. Let's say 10 15, 20. There's a lot of to-do lists, a lot of in progress. The samples that we have right now are just one or two, but in real life situation, you would typically have a lot of tasks, and you wouldn't really create an issue or create one task that is going to be very vague. You have to be very specific on a specific task. So the UI creation or creating a design of something, there's a lot of things that comes with that. There's a lot of parts, there's a lot of options that you need to consider. So you have to list those things or separate those things specifically because those are specific steps. So there will be times that you would create an issue over here. So let's say design, just to be vague, create. Let's click this so that we could modify it or view it more. Okay, let me open it. Not letting me open it, I guess. But what I was trying to say is that we could have multiple projects or multiple subtasks under that specific task. So under design, that could be so much things there, such as finding inspiration, finding a reference, finding or basing it out of the user requirements, ensuring that the features that you are going to be putting or the elements that you're going to be putting under this are going to be relevant or stuff like that. So over here, child issues, this is the child issues, meaning we could put subtask under this. So let's say research, design, preference, create. And then what we could do is create a list of features for a specific page, create. And then we could have create low fidelity prototype, stuff like that. And there's also some suggest subtask over here that would generate some suggestions for us if you want to use AI or like the help of AI. That is something that would be going to allow you as well, as you can see. And then there's going to be a lot of suggestions over here. So we could accept all. And then we just simply click on create. And there we go. So we now have that. And we could click on X over here, close. Let's see if it's going to appear. So we have all our child issues over here. Go to a timeline. Let's see if it will appear under this. It's not going to appear under this because we have not created an epic. So let's say UI there. And under the UI should be our specific task. Let's go back to our board. Design. We want to assign our parent to be the UI. There we go. Exit this, timeline, and there we go. We will now be able to see our design over here. Then we could view our issues or like our child issues over here on the right side, as you can see. So it can be complicated or it can be confusing. Made a mistake on some parts over here, like this one. I made my explanation might be confusing at the earlier parts, but I guess it depends on how you would approach this, how you would like to utilize the specific features, how you would like to see them be applied, stuff like that. But anyway, under list, let's view our list over here. You will be able to see the same things that we were adding earlier. You will be able to see the key, the summary, like project analysis, the status, the assignee, the due date, labels, when it was created, parent, and then the team over here. We could add information such as comments if you want to add some comments, resolutions if you want to have some resolutions over here, and status category where you could see what status that specific thing is. And then, of course, the group chart that we saw earlier that I talked about, this is where you will be able to create specific design or specific charts to just visualize the current status of a specific column that you want to talk about or you want to know, like the status, stuff like that, or how many of the total tasks are assigned to a specific person. So let's say or imagine that you have three a specific task over here. Two out of those three tasks are assigned to video person. You could have a chart seeing or viewing how much, as you can see here, how much task is being allocated to one person. So this better understand or allows us to better balance our task, balance which tasks are being allocated, or like just to ensure that people are have an equal amount of load and is able to help each other or help the group entirely by being able to see how much task that person has. We also have our project pages over here that we talked about. So let's try it. So let's go with a blank page for now. Let's try our blank page. This is like Google Docs or your Microsoft Word, where you will be able to type informations, type different types of things, your typical document where you could input different information. Exit this. Oh, it's not letting us use it. But I guess we could try. Let's click on try. I guess it's not letting us for now, but this is what it looks like. As you can see, for the meeting notes, you will be able to see like meeting agendas, the date, the participants, discussion topics, stuff like that. It's a really great template for that. We have the project requirements over here. You will get some tables, the target release, epics, document status, document owner, design, tech lead, stuff like that, objectives. You could see here the sample of what it would look like. It's filled with tasks or like tables for better management. We have our retrospective over here. As you can see, very similar. Like, start doing this, stop doing that, keep doing this, stuff like that. This is this is good for handling how people manage or how your team manages your different tasks. Over here, we have our decision. Similarly, and then blank page, of course. Then we could explore other templates to see what kind of templates are available right now in Jira. There's a saying that you shouldn't, or there's a saying in coding or in programming that you shouldn't recreate something that already exists because that just wastes your time and effort in recreating something that already exists. So research and using other people's codes or other people's work could be very important in saving time. And using templates is very important because it just saves you the time of creating your own template from scratch if the goal that you're trying to make already exists. So let's say project management over here. There's a lot of templates already available over here, and you don't need to create your own because there's a templates being made and being used already. So you should also use it to save your time and to save you effort of creating them on your own as well. So there's different categories over here. So we have project management, software and IT, product management. There's also marketing and sales, design, finance, and human resources over here. So going back here, what else could we check out? We could check out the automation that we were seeing earlier. Also, there were apps over here that you could install and use. This will allow you to ship or like integrate the different tools. So let's say you are under design and you have a Figma account, you could immediately submit a design that you have made directly into Jira instead of manually downloading and then importing and then uploading it into your Jira over here. There's also something called a stand up over here, as you can see. We have a stand up over here. And what else do we have? Automation over here. So to automate one or more, select them by holding control and click. So if you control and click over here, you can automate specific tasks. It's not letting me do so. Anyway, let's check out the available automations right now. There's different types of automations over here. Let's see if we will be able to find it inside of the automation over here. There's also automation templates over here, same something that applies to what I talked about. If that process already exists, don't do it manually, don't do it yourself. Just look for the template and use them, of course, for much easier experience. So over here, we can check out the most popular automations over here. So over here, we have Smart Auto Assign. So when an issue is created, it will automatically assign it, something typical, something simple, but it helps you if ever you forgot to assign a issue or a task to a person, because that happens. People can forget to assign it, and to avoid those kind of delays, because that can cause delays and confusion, saying, I assigned this to you, but why didn't you do it? But the person didn't receive the notification that it was assigned to them. To avoid those kinds of situation, you could take advantage of this smart auto assign over here. There's also auto create subtask over here, which will automatically create 5 subtasks with a certain field populated. You could also sync parent and child tasks, could clone issues over here, auto link related issues. You could change the due date, stuff like that. And what else do we have? So there's also automations for utilizing other platforms like Jira Plus, MS Teams, or Microsoft Teams, which is also a team management application, but from Windows or Microsoft. Over here, we saw this one earlier, the ability to integrate or connect with other programming platforms such as Bitbucket, GitHub, or GitLab. Then you have automation for software teams and automations for different sections. Management, let's see this management over here. There's automation for publishing a post or review. Auto close all Jira support tickets, stuff like that. A lot of options over here are really great for automating your different tasks. Although some of these features aren't things that people would typically use or beginner people would typically use, so I don't think you should worry about those just yet, or like stress yourself about those. So let's go back to our homepage over here before we end our video. So what else did we miss as a beginner? So as a beginner, and you have been invited by your team or your project leader, it is very important that you monitor over here your work page or your work section, so you can see what projects or what tasks are assigned to you. As you can see here, you can see your recents and the boards over here as well. We can click on go to your work page, which will allow you, or which will list down basically everything that you are working on, your current projects, like the general project itself, the things that you have been working on. As you can see here, you have your list over here, the things that you have viewed, the things that are assigned to you, and the things that are starred or like favorites over here. So this is a really neat feature, especially as a member or as a user, normal user of Jira, and you're not the project manager. You will be able to monitor your different tasks and be able to collaborate much better with your peers over here. So let's click on plans over here. We'll also have some plans over here. We can create some plans, like let's say meetings, stuff like that. You could have all types of plans that you want. So we either have meeting, visualization, coding sessions, stuff like that. You could have those as well. And what else we have? We're currently using the premium trial. Over here on the notification, this is where you will be able to see notifications in regarding to your projects, stuff like that. And you have your view all projects over here. You can be part of multiple types of projects. You can create your own projects. There's also some Scrum projects over here that you could create. As you can see here, you can have your own Scrum project management, where that specific project is built for Scrum, because there's different approach to development, and Scrum is one of those things. But anyway, I think I tackled majority of the basic features and would allow a normal user, like a beginner user, to be able to use and explore and utilize Jira, at least for its basic functions. And I think learning is best learned when you apply or you do it yourself and you do the different things. And learning the hard way or learning the manual way can be the best thing for a person. that also has a specific way of learning things. So anyway, that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.